I sense that Mr. Peru is about to surprise us too.
I believed in him. I followed him to the best of my ability. I championed his ideas, defended his decisions, and then, without even realizing it, I became lost.
Now that I've told you everything, you want to take my place, do you? No. I am Emily. You are wasting your time. Louis knows very well how to tell us apart.
Someone had the bang coming from the Duchess's room, and she isn't answering.
Louis, you really must learn to conceal your weaknesses better, if you don't want your foes to use them against you.
Our desire is to steer the destiny of our respective countries for the good of all, and to no longer suffer the random hazards of history.
It is the natural order of things, Monsieur de Richet. There have always been men who govern other men. That is simply the way it is.
History forgets them with a disconcerting facility. No one speaks about them, and yet they whisper in the ears of kings and presidents. But where are we?
I don't know, but we better not hang around. Be careful, Mother. As if me saying that will make any difference. Knowing Mortimer, I wouldn't be surprised if he rigged his crypt with traps.
So you think the door is not enough?
Do you want to wager your other hand?
You've got a point there. We have to find that weapon. What do you know about the Holy Lance, Louis?
The what?
The Lance of Longinus the Centurion.
Yes, the centurion that pierced the side of Christ with his lance. That weapon naturally became a holy relic.
Exactly.
Seriously? You don't really believe that fable, do you?
Every fable is founded on true events. I'm not saying that everything adds up, but imagine if it really did exist.
Very well. Now what?
Well, now you know what you need to find.
Pardon?
I have to get to the wharf to prepare our departure. Let's get off this cursed island as quickly as we can. We shall come back when we are ready and armed.
But hang on.
Louis, let's first get to safety. We shall come back when we have the upper hand. Fear not. You take care of getting the lance. It's imperative. I'll take care of preparing our departure.
Hang on. At least tell me everything you know about this lance.
But I have never seen it. There's nothing else I can say, Louis. Well, you can always go snooping around Mortimer's study. I remember seeing paintings of Longinus there.
Hang on a second.
What's the matter?
Why did you shoot Emily's sister?
Do you really think now is the right time for this?
I want to know, Mother. Why did you betray her?
Listen, Louis, I don't think you've really understood my interest in the Al-Azif. It's not just simple curiosity about some old relic.
You tried to kill her.
And I had no choice, for crying out loud. It must not fall into the hands of the demons, or we are all doomed. Don't you see? Listen, I don't know exactly what it contains, but I prefer to be one step ahead. If they want it, there must be a reason. And even if I don't know what it is, I want to stop them for safety's sake, no matter what.
Nothing will stop you if I understand correctly. Not
Enough, Louis. If you could see the extent of their power as I do, then you would understand what I'm saying.
All right, we'll do it your way.
One more thing. If they find you in possession of the lance, they won't let you get away with it. Choose only one and hide it under your jacket so you don't get caught with it. Then run and meet me on the wharf.
And if I get caught?
If they catch you in possession of the lance, we're all doomed. Do you understand?
Perfectly.
Good. And go talk to Piaggi. He's the one who probably knows the most about this.
I can see that this lance has a so-called leaf shape. It is made entirely of iron. I can see that the tip is engraved with the symbol of the sun. There's several spearheads. I need to find clues to pick the right one. Piaggi knows something about it for sure. This sarcophagus is engraved with the name of Clemens III. Good God! The one whose cross allowed me to enter. That was the Pope from the Middle Ages who inspired the Third Crusade. He gave the Roman people the power to elect their magistrates. This sarcophagus is beautifully made, but ancient. The stone is marked by the passage of time, but it's really well preserved. I can see that this spear has a so-called leaf shape. It is copper rimmed. I can see the tip is engraved with the symbol of the Eye of Ra. I can see that this lance has a so-called leaf shape. It is clearly made of iron, and I can make out a sun engraved on the tip. Bible must mean the lance which finally took the life of Christ.
Your Eminence, would you have a moment to spare?
Not now, Louis. Please, leave me alone.
I beg your pardon?
I want to be alone.
Very well. I'm only searching for information about the Lance of Longinus, the soldier. If you could...
You're not listening to me. You are playing with fire.
I heard you speak to Mr. von Wollner about it, and I was wondering if you could tell me something about it.
That was a private conversation. How could I have known that he was listening to us?
I see what you mean.
Louis, don't push it. Leave while you still can.
Your Eminence, are you all right? Your Eminence, are you with me? Can you turn around, please?
What do you want to know about the Holy Lands, Louis?
Your Eminence, turn around.
This is the weapon used by a Roman centurion on the very day Christ was nailed to the cross.
Look at me.
Longinus thrust his lance in the right side of Jesus.
Please.
As you wish.
His nose is bleeding.
So you are looking for the Holy Lance of Longinus, are you?
No, I was wondering about it myself.
Oh, Louis. It's even worse than I thought. I believe you when you say you've only come to find out more. But in that case, it means that Sarah didn't even tell you the point of it all. Because, believe me, you are looking for it. You are looking for the lance. You should know, you are not the only one. Lord Mortimer has spent a good part of his life and his fortune trying to find it. Never will he let you have it. But tell me, before going any further, have you spoken to anyone else about this?
No, you are the first I've spoken to about it, Your Eminence.
Come now, Louis. Are you quite sure of that?
Yes, my mother knows about it.
Of course, Sarah. Who else?
No one else.
What are you going to use the lance for, exactly?
If I told you why I needed this lance, you would never believe it.
Trust me, you can tell me anything.
It's our only chance to vanquish the demons.
Oh, my dear God, Louis. You sound just like Sarah. Do you realize you are following the same path, step by step? Sarah also started by imagining things. She too spoke of demons, I am told. She could no longer speak to anyone, and saw a hidden monster in every guest, lurking in the shadows, ready to devour her. You must let us help you. Louis, I thank you for your sincerity. I shall answer you about Longinus. You deserve to be told. His spear-headed lance did indeed pierce the side of the Messiah. His blood gushed out, covering the head of the lance. It was covered in the blood of Christ.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Eminence.
You are welcome. Be careful, Louis. You are on a perilous path. Don't follow Sarah's demons, my boy. Don't delve too deeply into her delusions, or you won't be able to come back. The demons that she is frantically trying to drive away are in her own mind. Take good care of yourself. God keep you.
Circe preparing wine. What better trap for Ulysses? Great. Honey. Cash.
Good evening, Mr. President.
Good evening.
I'm back on the trail of my mother again. I don't have time to explain, but would you know anything about the Holy Lance?
That's good news. But be careful, Louis. You might end up getting noticed.
Do you know anything or not?
No, I regret I don't. But why not ask von Wallner? Theology is his field, after all.
That's an idea. In that case, I'll try and find him.
You are keeping up the good work, I see. But I'm telling you, keep your guard up. Everyone is rather on edge right now.
You're right. Thanks for everything, Mr. President.
See you later.
It seems like he isn't here. Look, a blotter. And apparently it's been used recently. I wonder what Volner was going to write. It's smudged. It's not all legible. I can make out the signature though, and leave as if planned landing stage. So Volner is going to leave Al-Azif at the landing stage, isn't he? What a mess. Looks like Volner was interrupted. Looks a lot like straw, and he's drawn something in a hurry on this sheet. Straw on his desk, as if to protect something fragile. Yes, someone must have packed something away here. I get the feeling that I've seen that somewhere before. I've seen occult inscriptions like this before. They're not very common. As a matter of fact, I've only seen them once before, around the Lock of Al-Azif. Looks a lot like straw, and he's drawn something in a hurry on this sheet. Golden Elixir. Carmelite water. They say that if you drink this, it gives you a real boost. Chemistry set. That's not surprising coming from von Volner.
So, let's see what Volner has in his bookcase. A few works on religions, 2 scientific essays about human thought. Most of these works are on alchemy. Longini Militis Fabulum. Ah! What have we here?
It looks like a kind of biography on Longinus the Centurion. Truly, Volner has done everything he can to get information about that lance.
I'd better keep this one, though.
Richet?
Damn, that's all I need. Maybe he knows something about the lance.
What are you doing in my room?
Well, sir, I see you have some captivating books, and you seem to be rather interested in the famous Longinus.
It's... what's it to do with you?
I overheard you speaking with Piaggi. What are you two up to exactly?
Fine. Yes. We are looking for the Holy Lance. That imbecile has given Mortimer all the ones kept in the private collection of the Holy See. But it's not what you think. Hang on a minute. You're the one looking for the lance.
No,
Don't take me for a fool. You are looking for the Holy Lances.
I'm not looking for the lances of Longinus von Volner. I'm looking for the lance of Longinus. The one that pierced Christ's side.
You are playing with fire.
Don't take it the wrong way. I'll leave you all the copies. Don't worry about that.
Good answer. What are you playing at, Richet? Mortimer's the one who has that cursed lance.
How long have you been looking for it?
I see. You want it, and so you plan to steal it from Mortimer.
For a long time. Isn't that right?
Why, you little swine! You're planning to give it to Sir Gregory. You're looking to double-cross me and Piaggi too.
What on earth is he talking about?
But calm yourself, goddammit. You're the one I'm trying to help.
What?
I heard you talking with His Eminence, and it seemed to me that this story about the lances had put you in a tight spot. I was only trying to be helpful.
But why didn't you tell me straight away?
Seeing as I hadn't found it, I didn't want to commit myself too quickly. If I failed, I would look like a beginner.
I understand, Louis. I thought you were trying to manipulate me. But please, excuse me. I got a little bit carried away. But you can't get ahead by staying in the shadows on a case like this. There are already several of us searching for the lance of Longinus. And it would be smarter to pool our information.
Unfortunately, I've barely made any progress. I'm still trying to find out what the original lance really looked like.
Let me reassure you, we've all been there, given the number of copies there are in existence. It also took us quite some time to discover its true shape. Many believe the central part of the head of the lance to be covered in gold, whereas, in truth, its center is made of an alloy of copper and iron.
That does make sense. In those times, a centurion wouldn't have any chance of possessing a lance made of gold.
That is the perversion of Christian idolatry. A copper lance could not have been noble enough to pierce the side of Christ.
Anyway, thank you, sir.
You're welcome, Louis. Keep me posted as to your research. We're bound to end up recovering it.
I'm counting on it. See you later. I managed to get the biography of Longinus the Centurion. Let's see what it can teach me. An interesting passage here tells me that the lance is engraved with the symbol of the first Christians, the fish.
fragment of amber.
There's the alchemical symbol of the earth on the lid.
Byzant from the Byzantine Empire, a coin often used during the St. Louis era. Honey, the remedy of the gods. Celia. That name means nothing to me. Devil's Thorn. I'll keep it. Saint Longinus. Let's take a closer look at his lance. It is shaped like a leaf, like the real lance, maybe. How can I be sure? I think this statue does represent Longinus, armed with a lance that wounded Jesus, the Holy Lance. How can I find out if this is an exact representation? There's no way of being certain of it. No, this is too easy. Mortimer's trying to throw me off the track again. It seems too visible to be true. Impossible not to see the statue on first glance, given its size. And Mortimer has no interest in making the shape of the true lance so easy to see. Hey, looks like there's a symbol engraved on the tip. Yes, a fish. The Christian fish, no doubt. It can't be a coincidence. It must have been done on purpose. Huh. Good thing I took a closer look. Adoration of the Shepherds with Saints Longinus and John, Giulio Romano, 1534. Longinus is holding the Holy Lance in his left hand, and I'll bet he's holding the sponge soaked in holy blood in the other hand. Yes! Here we can see that the Holy Lance is represented in the shape of a spear. I better make sure I check this twice. It's a work that dates from the Renaissance. There's nothing to say that it's not based on erroneous elements. But I believe what I read in the letter from Milan addressed to Mortimer. There's every reason to believe that this painting has been modified according to his guidelines to represent the true shape of the Holy Lance, a spear shape. There's only one way of being sure. I'll have to find other clues that will confirm this information. There's only one way of being sure. I'll have to find other clues that will confirm this information. But I believe what I read in the letter from Milan addressed to Mortimer. There's every reason to believe that this painting has been modified according to his guidelines to represent the true shape of the Holy Lance, a spear shape.
Pardon me, monsieur, but I have work to do.
Dear Miss... All right. I've retrieved everything. Nice decor for a revolutionary tribunal judge's room. A letter from William Pitt the Younger, addressed to Emily. He's the present prime. 2 coils circle the lock.
Dear Gregory, thank you for the information. I've managed to find out about the names you gave me. George Washington is a man you can trust. In spite of his obvious talent for politics, he has remained upright and honest. On the other hand, as you may well know...
All right. I've retrieved everything. A letter from William Pitt the Elder, addressed to Emily. He was the English Prime Minister. This letter dates from 15 years ago now. Madam, I shall never thank you enough for all your...
Dear E.
King George III in coronation robes. Nice touch for the room of an English duchess. Inferno by Dante. Abandon hope, all ye who enter here. Golden Elixir.
Dear Monsieur de Richet,
The Cardinal's not in his room. I bet he went back to stuffing himself. Duke Manuel Godoy. Cardinal's not in his room. I bet he went back to stuffing himself. Honey, I couldn't have hoped for better. Venus and Cupid with a Satyr by Correggio. Innocence, indiscretion, and lechery. Giuseppe must love that. Have a look at his personal papers. Of course, it's in Latin, the language of the church. All those hours of learning Latin declensions are going to pay off in the end. Mother will be proud. Now this could be interesting. Let's say a sancte, various representation criteria, of which are shown the most common throughout the centuries, and in different forms. If Piaggi's notes are anything to go by, the weapon I'm looking for is shaped like a tapered spear. And that should help me identify it. The Cardinal's not in his room. I bet he went back to stuffing himself. Saint Longinus. Let's take a closer look at his lance. It is shaped like a leaf, like the real lance maybe. How can I be sure? I think this statue does represent Longinus, armed with a lance that wounded Jesus, the Holy Lance. How can I find out if this is an exact representation? There's no way of being certain of it. Longinus is holding the Holy Lance in his left hand, and I'll bet he's holding the sponge soaked in holy blood in the other hand. Yes! Here we can see that the Holy Lance is represented in the shape of a spear. I'd better make sure I check this twice. It's a work that dates from the Renaissance. There's nothing to say that it's not based on erroneous elements. This work is an order from Lord Mortimer. All the details have been conceived with a specific goal in mind. Upon closer examination, you can see that even the style clashes with that of most of the other works in the manor.
No. If Mortimer has taken special care as the conception and the exhibition of this painting in his study, in the same way as for the nightmare painting, it must be of some significance. And that is indeed the true shape of the Holy Lance, a spear shape. There's only one way of being sure. I'll have to find other clues that will confirm this information. This sarcophagus is engraved with the name of Clemens III. Good God! The one whose cross allowed me to enter. This sarcophagus is beautifully made, but ancient. Stone is marked by the passage of time, but it's really well preserved. This one has no name. I wonder who it was for. I can see that this spear has a so-called leaf shape. It is copper-rimmed. I can see the tip is engraved with the symbol of the Eye of Ra. I must be sure of my choice. I can't get it wrong. Am I sure this is the one to take? Let's take a look at this lance here. It has a very special leaf shape. It is copper rimmed, and I can see a fish symbol engraved on the tip. The sarcophagus of Lord Mortimer. Let's see what we can find here. It's far too heavy. I'm not going to be able to do it on my own. The sarcophagus of Lord Mortimer. It's the only sarcophagus in this crypt which appears to bear the Mortimer family name. What ancestor can it be? There's no inscription. I can see that this lance has a so-called leaf shape. It is clearly made of iron, and I can make out a sun engraved on the tip. This lance has a leaf shape. It is copper-rimmed. The symbol of the Christian fish is engraved on the tip. I can see this lance has a spear shape, it is copper-rimmed, and it has been engraved with the symbol of the Christian fish on the tip. The sarcophagus of Lord Mortimer. Let's see what we can find here. It's far too heavy. I'm not going to be able to do it on my own. I can see that this lance has the shape of a boar spear. The blade is partially coated in copper, and I can just make out the symbol of the Eye of Ra engraved on the tip. This sarcophagus has been ravaged by time. It's sort of ageless, I guess. It's entirely sculpted. Well, we can see that this lance has a particular spear shape. It is coated in gold. You can distinguish the symbol of the fish engraved on the tip, barely noticeable. I must be sure of my choice. I cannot get it wrong. Am I absolutely sure this is the one to take? Golden Elixir.
Carmelite water. They say that if you drink this, it gives you a real boost.
I'm already pressed for time as it is. Mother's waiting for me on the wharf.
De Richet, sticking your nose everywhere again.
Wow, what's the matter with him? Excuse me, monsieur. I don't follow you.
I haven't come all this way just to fail so close to the goal.
Why? What are you talking about?
I am talking about what you are doing. This conference is going to boost my career. There is no question of me letting you ruin everything. I just surprised Piaget and Volner talking. You are about to rob Mortimer! Give me what you took from him, immediately!
Let's keep calm, please. I don't know what you're talking about. I'll have to cut this short, quick. Look, I don't know what you're going on about, and I don't have time for this right now.
Don't bank on getting rid of me so easily, de Richet. Where have you been?
I'm still looking for my mother, if you can believe it. I've been in the manor basement to check if she might have gone lost.
And did you find her?
No, not a trace.
I'm warning you, de Richet. I have got my eye on you. I'll soon figure out what you are up to. And I am convinced that you have indeed robbed Mortimer. The game is up. Give me what you took from him.
You know, this is becoming an obsession with you.
Show me what you are carrying, or I will call the servants.
Very well. Fair is fair. You've exposed me. Here. This is what I took from him. Look, I'm sorry. I acted on a bizarre impulse.
I don't know either, and frankly, you have disappointed me. That said, it is not as bad as I thought it would be. Right. We'll leave it there. I'm glad that things have been cleared up.
So, are we finished here?
Indeed we are. I shall leave you.
That's right. Go play somewhere else. See you later, monsieur. Come on. I have to hurry up and join my mother at the wharf now.
Ah, Louis. Perfect timing.
As luck would have it.
Come, my boy. I would like to have a word with you. Come closer, Louis. Come closer, please. It's time we had a little chat.
What's wrong, my lord? Tell me. What's with all the bodyguards?
Louis, it's time you found out the truth. I've been observing you since you arrived. I see you running all over the grounds in search of Sarah. I would like to prevent her from leading you even further down the wrong road.
The wrong road?
Louis, Sarah has made her own choices of her own free will, and I would like for you to have the same chance. You see, Sarah and I have known each other for a very long time, Louis. I am aware of her theory. About me, about Gregory, about the demons.
And it's true.
She's right. Look at me. I have inhabited this body since 1191. For the last 602 years, I have been this dear William Mortimer.
Continue.
Louis, it's time you opened your eyes. Come, you'll soon see.
After you.
I hope I've answered all your questions, Louis. Come, I've something to show you.
There is one question that remains to be answered. Why me? Why tell me all of this?
Oh,
Haven't you guessed yet?
I've got an idea, but it might seem stupid.
Trust me.
Am I one? I mean, am I a demon?
Would you like that?
I must admit that the idea is appealing.
Look, we are of the gods, Louis. Always have been. You, as much as me, you are one of us, Louis. You too are a demon.
Are you serious?
You know it. Deep down inside, you know I am telling you the truth. Where do you think that natural, charismatic presence comes from? Your talent must already have manifested itself somehow. Have you ever had any visions?
No. Stop it. It's absurd.
Have you never found yourself suddenly inside someone else's body without knowing why?
No.
Whilst asleep, maybe? That's how it often happens the first time. Your spirit wanders unconsciously.
My mother can't have lied to me about that.
It's true. Your real mother would never have lied to you.
What do you mean?
Louis, I would rather you found this out from her own lips, but it's important that you know. Sarah is not your mother.
What?
I'm sorry you had to find out this way, Louis. But you must know the truth before you commit an irreparable act.
No, no, it's not possible.
You are my son. Not too shaken up. You've experienced many significant events since your arrival.
You can say that again.
For now, I think you ought to find Sarah, my son. You ought to talk things over with her.
So she's been lying to me all along?
Let her justify herself. What's done is done. Sarah must explain herself. You must clear the air. We'll have all the time we need to talk afterwards. But all in good time. Before you join her, I'd like to give you something. As a demon, I would like to introduce you to your first talent.
What do you mean?
Open your mind, my son. Relax. You hold immense power. It's already there inside you. Empty your mind of all thoughts. Just let me show you the way.
I should relax.
Open your mind. Hear my voice. Feel the vibrations and listen to what has been happening to you deep inside, but which you have been concealing. Trust yourself. It's all already in there.
I can hear something.
Now breathe.
It's a sound, very faint.
That's right. Concentrate on it. My voice is growing fainter, but I am here.
Whispers, words, mixed voices.
Focus on one of them. Don't be afraid.
I sense a stream. Some words are clear, but not all of them.
Let them enter into your mind.
I hear them. Now I can hear a clear voice.
Well done, Louis. Congratulations.
What was it?
You are now able to read people's minds.
What?
You heard me. From now on, whenever a human speaks to you, you will be able to read their current thoughts. So, if you need to know something in particular from someone, all you have to do is make them think about it.
But I'd be violating their minds, wouldn't I?
No, nothing of the sort. You won't really be penetrating their psyches. Let's just say you'll be picking up residual signals emitted by their thoughts. It isn't intrusive at all, rest assured. There are also a few rules you need to know that govern this talent when used between ourselves. You can read the thoughts of demons as well as of humans. But be careful. A demon more experienced than yourselves will know that you are spying and will often react quite violently. It's considered bad form to play around the psyche of another demon. It's a question of courtesy. But let's be clear. What is most considered bad form is getting caught. So I would advise against trying to read the thoughts of Gregory, for example.
Home?
Yes, the old grump is touchy, and rather a stickler about the conventions. On that note, go and see Sarah, Louis. Otherwise, she might leave without you. We'll continue this discussion later, if you want. Just join me in my study when you've finished.
You're right. I need to go now. See you later, Lord Mortimer.
One more thing. If you want to know the truth about your birth, ask her about Paris, 1763, at 12 Rue des Martyrs. That's where she disemboweled your mother to steal you from me.
It's not that I regret all these discussions, but I must hurry to the wharf.
A drachma.
You shot her in cold blood.
What is at stake here far outweighs our personal interests. I should...
Personal interests? I'm talking about my sister's life. She was my other half.
Calm down, Emily. Calm down.
Louis, don't come near me.
I warned you what would happen if I found her.
Emily, put the weapon down.
She has to pay for all the harm she's done to me.
Well, to be fair, we've all made mistakes. And look at her, Emily. She's paid for hers.
I'm all alone now.
Duchess, I am sorry for what happened. I didn't have any choice.
Ah, you! Shut your mouth! You had the choice, all right. You use people according to your own desires, without any scruples.
Excuse me, Duchess, but we're in the same line of business.
Shut it!
And as for Emma, she knew only too well.
No, Emily. Look at me. Emily?
What did you say?
You're not like her. Neither you nor Emma are like Sarah. Ever since you got here, you've always tried to help me. I trust you, Emily. And Emma would never have betrayed me either.
No, she wasn't like that. She was loyal. But why did Sarah betray Emma? Why?
Your sister was supposed to hide something, and no one was supposed to have been able to find it.
And she would never have talked, even under torture. So why get rid of her?
Unfortunately, Emily, the creatures who live here employ methods that no one can resist.
I was going to get her out of there for God's sake. So what are you talking about?
Emily, all I ask is that you let me tell the truth, but you'll never believe me.
You leave me no choice. I'm going to kill her, Louis.
Emily,
Emma would have never been able to resist Holm or Mortimer.
Emma was working for Holm. She had nothing to fear from him. Indeed, it was he who treated her after your mother left her for dead. And Mortimer would never have gotten the better of her, especially not with Holm's protection. I've had enough. I'm going to shoot your mother. I understand you are trying to protect her, Louis, but it's a lost cause. Don't move!
Louis, remember in Paris.
Oh no, not again. No, Mother, wait! No, no, no! Come on, Mother, hang in there. You're gonna pull through. Save your strength. I'm getting you out of here.
It's too late. Don't trust him. I'm proud of you, my son.
No! Mother! No! You go to hell!
Rational and open. I spent my whole life swimming in lies.
Emma, what a bloody mess. I've been completely manipulated. I feel like I know nothing. That I have to learn everything all over again. I'm a demon. I age more slowly. I can mentally manipulate people. I don't even know if it's a good thing or a curse.
No, this is an advantage. I could get used to this pretty quickly, I think.
Damn it, what a mess. Come on, man up, Louis. I'm still the same old me. Demon or not, I'm still in charge of my actions. And this father, I know nothing about. Yes, I've still got a lot to learn. It's enough to drive you crazy. Everything I believed in, nothing holds true anymore. Pull yourself together, man. I need to find some answers. There's no way of being alone for a minute.
Sir Gregory?
Good day, Louis. I think it would be good to talk. How are you feeling?
I don't know.
I understand. I heard that William spoke to you at last about our nature and our family. It's a good thing, but you must be a bit shaken up.
That's the least you can say.
I bid you welcome among us, Louis. Knowing William, he probably didn't go into any detail about our family, so if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask.
How many of us are there in the family?
We are 8 brothers and sisters.
What do you mean by brothers and sisters if we can change bodies?
You reason with logic. We have retained the human habit. When we first come into this world, we retain a certain attachment to our first envelope. If we are born as a man, we are brothers. If we are born as a woman, we are sisters. But I must admit, it has absolutely no real importance. They're just bodies.
Well, tell me then, are there any other families like ours?
There are officially 7, but we're the oldest and therefore the most powerful.
What's Lord Mortimer's problem?
I think he allows himself to be devoured by a need for recognition.
Has he always been like that?
More or less, but thinking about it, I believe that the birth of our latest sibling greatly accentuated his discomfort.
Do you think he's jealous?
I didn't realize you were so good at behavioral analysis. Indeed, William certainly is prone to jealousy. Finding one's place, notably in the eyes of our father, is not easy, and we each do what we can to succeed. But I can't justify this perpetual rebellion against our rules.
Is there a head of the family?
You'll see. You'll meet them all, of course, when you are ready. They created us and set out the rules, especially our father. As for our mother, she retired from the political stage. We don't see her much anymore. I think that all these questions simply bore her.
I see. There is still much to learn.
Yes, it's true. You've got some catching up to do, my boy. One thing you must understand regarding any disagreements that might arise between William and myself is his position with regard to mankind.
What do you mean?
Well, for centuries we've been trying to help and therefore preserve humanity. Monarchies are simple and practical. They enable us to inspire humanity efficiently, and I can't understand why William wants to replace them with democracy.
But if your intention is not to dominate the human race, why not let them be master of their own destinies?
I perfectly understand this type of reaction from you, less from William. The main thing you're lacking is time. Man is transient, and one of his particularities is that he does not learn from the errors of his peers. He uses up an incredible amount of energy building and destroying whatever he himself has put into place. If we weren't here to help them, guide them, I sincerely believe that humanity would have become extinct by now. On the other hand, we are eternal, Louis. When we plan ahead, we do it for the long term.
Yes, I understand, but that's more like tyranny, isn't it?
Well, it's all a question of your point of view. From man's point of view, I can understand how he would have that impression if ever he found out. But don't forget your true nature. From the demon's point of view, in other words, ours, letting man do as he thinks fit would equate to letting him race to his own demise.
But what about man's freedom to choose?
That is man's worst enemy, Louis. Imagine a creature that dies without reaching the age of adulthood. It remains a child. We have to help him, otherwise he will put himself in danger. It has taken centuries for our family to establish relative peace between demons. Thanks to this policy, we have been able to decide everything by confining the other families to subordinate roles. And now William is obsessed with disrupting everything.
Peace between demons? What do you mean?
I'm not talking about conflicts within our family. If that was all there was, everything would be fine. But several other families, younger but nonetheless powerful, are trying to upset the balance. At present, we dominate most of the major countries around the globe. But some families are pushing, via less influential countries, to gain ground. Do you understand?
As best I can, yes.
When the time comes, you must take up a position on the political chessboard. I only hope your father doesn't take you down with him.
Are you suggesting he might be in danger?
Well, Louis, our father's patience is not limitless. If William ever does go too far, then yes, he will be in danger. I want you to make an informed choice. Now go and see your father, see what he has to say, and then think it over very carefully.
That's exactly what I intended to do. Thank you, Uncle.
Don't mention it. If I've been able to help you in any way, go now.
Great. Honey.
Louis, I was sure you would stay. I'm proud of you. You've made the right choice. You must have been disappointed not to have been able to speak to Sarah one last time. I would have liked her to tell you herself.
Well, I guess I'll never know now.
True. Even so, there is one more thing I haven't told you about her. Sarah was my daughter.
What? But why didn't you tell me the truth about her?
I thought that might be too many truths to absorb at one time. I intended to tell you afterwards. You were in a hurry, so I made a decision. You've been able to understand and choose for yourself. How do you feel?
Hard to say. At peace, really. Oddly enough, I understand things that have happened to me better now.
What could be more normal? It may have been a bit brutal, but you've just grown up in a very short space of time. From now on, you can influence your own future. I will guide you. We've all the time we need.
You're not the first to make me that offer.
What do you mean by that?
Your brother, Sir Gregory.
Gregory. Why am I not even surprised? What did he say?
Not much. He bid me welcome to the family, that's all.
Louis, Gregory is my brother. Always has been. And he never goes anywhere to say or do Not much. He must have told you that he's worried about me, that he wants to be there for you, and that you ought to be wary of me.
Yes, something like that. According to him, the family is a prickly subject for you.
He exaggerates. I don't have problems with all our family, far from it. I admit I find it difficult to follow the path set out before me sometimes. I don't share their vision, and they don't understand me.
They find you unstable.
I don't impose anything on anyone. I'm just following my own path.
But where does it lead?
I suppose I should explain. For centuries now, demons have emerged in and around great leaders all over the world. But like true tyrants, they have governed with an iron fist in a studded glove.
That's the impression I get.
But you see, people's discontent is increasing, and they are too high up to hear it. They take themselves for gods. Sooner or later, the people will turn against us, just as they have in the past. Each time it's happened, many of us have died. We must master the humans, yes, but gently. And the best way of doing that is by allowing them a free choice, Louis.
So that's your project.
Of course, not entirely, no. It is easier to keep control over people who slumber than people who are oppressed. A man with nothing to lose is a dangerous man. Whereas, if you give him a roof, food, and entertainment, he will do whatever you want. The best way of getting them to achieve something is to make them think it was their idea. For that, they have to feel as if they are free.
Hang on. What do you mean?
Look at the United States. From the start, I introduced an idea that will change everything. The idea that everything is possible. Everyone can become someone. Is there anything more beautiful?
You mean it's not true?
Man can move mountains when he believes it is in his own interest. And what nobler cause is there than his own freedom?
Do you have any more examples?
Of course.
Talk to me about slavery.
Well, take the slave trade, for example. It's an archaic practice that simply has to stop. Today, black slaves of America work for free and in unbearable conditions. Tomorrow, if you free the blacks and offer them work along with a salary, they will bless you for it. Then, they will be integrated into the system. They will be taxable. Once they are free, they will have to work for a roof, pay taxes, and feed their families. Maybe we could take away the civil rights of prisoners, for example. In this way, we'll keep control of all those who respect the system and benefit from the others as a workforce.
Tell me what you think about progress.
Progress is essential, Louis. It's the future.
What else?
Progress must liberate humanity from burdensome chores. Progress must replace man wherever his presence is not obligatory. It creates both the desire and the need. It will liberate women as soon as the machines are able to do all the chores in the home automatically. It will bring men together by bringing a faster means of locomotion. Look at the cultural revolution that printing brought about. But the most important of all has already been laid. The foundation stone. Freedom of speech. The First Amendment of the Constitution. There must be opponents to every project. So, above all, don't develop a one-track approach. Otherwise, man won't have enough room for expression to feel free. If man sees his chains, he will only want to break them. If we give men the feeling that they are free, I am convinced that they will exceed their limits. And it is only from that condition that humanity shall rise up.
But do you want to dominate or raise humanity higher?
I want it to advance. I want it to progress. Man is our vessel. If he progresses, then so do we. Wouldn't you like to know what we really are?
Who do you mean? Demons?
Yes, us. Our species. I've been searching for centuries, trying to find a way to explain the reason of our existence, but humanity has not yet evolved enough to make any progress on the subject. I am convinced that the sciences will bring that knowledge someday.
So, that's your objective, is it? To understand who we are? I see your point.
Our family clings to its privileges and to the past, and that's how they are putting us in danger. The time has come for change. Now that you know your true nature, there are still a few things I need to teach you.
What do you mean exactly?
A new skill, and not the least, Louis. It's about taking control of a person.
Okay, let's not waste any more time.
I deduce that you're impatient to master what's in store for you. That is good. I thought I'd mix business with pleasure for this first time.
What do you mean by that?
The conference will come to a close shortly, as you know. Not that I'm fed up with archaic diplomacy, but it's time to ensure the success of this project. To make this happen, I would like Piaget to inform the Pope he has changed sides.
You're going to use your powers to alter the votes?
The real game is about to begin, Louis. Up till now, the guests have been sizing each other up. From now on, it's time for Gregory and myself to play, as well as you yourself. Now, here is my plan. I would like you to join His Eminence in his room.
Just play along. We'll see when the time comes. Very well. And then?
You're going to have to trust me. What we're going to do is painless for the human you are going to invade.
Invade?
Yes. You're going to enter his mind and take control. You're going to influence his actions and his psyche. Make him speak, then concentrate. You must focus on him in order to feel his thoughts. Then, while speaking, you must link with him. Once you're done, you will naturally find your way to the source and enter into his thoughts.
But what if I fail?
Trust in your instincts. You just have to let yourself go. You have the skill. Let your nature come to the fore. You'll see. If you fail, you'll be in for some light banter with His Eminence. That's all. There's nothing to be afraid of.
Very well.
Perfect. Go now. The Cardinal is in his room. You will have to write a letter to the Pope as if Piaget had written it himself. In this letter, tell the Pope that whatever happens during the conference, he must follow my propositions. But be careful. In order to protect himself from counterfeiters, the Pope had Piaget's hand tattooed with a symbol to be sure of his identity. You'll see when you're inside him. You'll understand. Once it's written up, just bring it back to me and I'll send it off immediately.
All right, I'll take care of it.
Ah, well, Louis, what brings you back to my chambers?
May I sit down?
Of course, Louis. Don't you feel good?
Yes, but if I'm gonna pass inside you, I'd better sit myself down first. It's nothing, don't worry about it.
Well, what can I do for you?
Right. Now I need to concentrate. I wanted to speak to you, Your Eminence. I wanted to thank you for your help. I mean, for your time talking to me about the Holy Lance.
Oh, and did you find it? It's the crusade of a lifetime for some people, Louis. You are searching for another holy grail.
You're nearly there. Link into his thoughts. Does it annoy you at all?
But what on earth is he trying to get at? Why do you ask, Louis? I don't follow.
For the glory, Your Eminence. I can feel it coming. It's working.
What insolence. Why, really? I am a man of the church, Louis. May God keep me from such ambitions.
Right. Let me in, Your Eminence.
Why?
I've done it. I've done it, damn it. He was right. This is just crazy. I can't believe it. Look at yourself, Louis. You better not get caught. Whoa. I still need to get used to this body. So, let's see about what Mortimer asked me.
Right. Well, it's time I got started. Let's see what I can find here to help me write that letter. I have no means to validate my forgery, so I better take my time with it and not make any mistakes. There are 2 letters from the Pope on the desk. I should be able to get a clue or 2 by checking how well they correspond to each other. And here are 3 stamps. All are different. Right. Well, let's start writing. Lord Mortimer asked me to discredit Sir Gregory and to announce Piaggi's final vote in his favor. As an introduction, Your Holiness, thank you for your trust. It even appears that Lord Mortimer and Sir Gregory both have access to obscure, superior forces to help them reach their ends. I think that the Papal States, for the sake of their own preservation, ought to condemn this practice of conferences in the future. There's a kind of code composed of 6 letters that they always write under the dates of their correspondence. According to Mortimer, it's got something to do with Piaggi's tattoo. I guess I'll have to write one for today's date. Now, ideally, it'd be better to do without it, but I'm going to need to be extremely clever here. Today, the date is 24/01/1793. And the letters from the Pope, there are 6 letters just below the date, 2 just below the month, 4 others below the year. Piaggi's tattoo. It must be used to establish a connection between the letter of the concentric circle and the numbers shown in the middle. Some figures are the same in both codes, yet they correspond to different letters. The day is not translated. That must be the key to the code. Today the date is 24/01/1793. Today the date is 24/01/1793.
letters from the Pope, there are 6 letters just below the date, 2 just below the month, 4 others below the year. Piaggi's tattoo. It must be used to establish a connection between the letter of the concentric circle and the number shown in the middle. Some figures are the same in both codes, yet they correspond to different letters. The day is not translated. That must be the key to the code. Today the date is 24/01/1793. Today the date is 24/01/1793. Today the date is 24/01/1793. In the letters from the Pope, there are 6 letters just below the date, 2 just below the month, 4 others below the year. Piaggi's tattoo. It must be used to establish a connection between the letter of the concentric circle and the number shown in the middle. Today the date is 24/01/1793. Today the date is 24/01/1793. In the letters from the Pope, there are 6 letters just below the date, 2 just below the month, 4 others below the year. Piaggi's tattoo. It must be used to establish a connection between the letter of the concentric circle and the number shown in the middle.
Some figures are the same in both codes, yet they correspond to different letters. The day is not translated. That must be the key to the code. Some figures are the same in both codes, yet they correspond to different letters. The day is not translated. That must be the key to the code. Some figures are the same in both codes, yet they correspond to different letters. The day is not translated. That must be the key to the code. Some figures are the same in both codes, yet they correspond to different letters. The day is not translated. That must be the key to the code. Today the date is 24/01/1793. 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 Today is the 24/01/1793.
Your Eminence, all ready to send... What's he doing here?
Damn it. That's all I need.
Don't worry, he can't hear us.
What do you mean he can't hear us? What's going on here, Piaggi?
Calm down now. Monsieur de Richet came to see me because he was having anxiety attacks and wanted something to help him relax. I'm afraid I've been a little heavy-handed.
You can say that again.
I was about to fetch someone to take care of him. Would you care to go?
There he is, and there he stays. It's a perfect opportunity.
What do you mean?
It's been a while now that I've been hoping for a chance to get rid of him. Can you keep a secret?
Of course, my son. Would you like to tell me under the confidentiality of confession?
Don't talk rubbish. I don't trust the little runt because he is Mortimer's son. Would you believe it?
How does he know?
Dear God, how is that possible? I am flabbergasted.
We've wasted enough time. What if he wakes up? If you don't want to get your hands dirty, just turn away and leave everything to me.
This is not a decision to be taken lightly.
You're defending him now.
What are you talking about? Of course not.
He's made you change sides, hasn't he?
I refuse to get involved. That's against the rules, for heaven's sake.
The rules? The consequences of the conference could well destabilize the world order. It's our duty to shelve Mortimer's project, and to accomplish that, anything goes.
Monsieur von Von, I always act in the best interest of all. I assure you.
Everyone's entitled to an opinion.
You must have lost your mind to want to take such an extreme course of action.
No one's asking you to help me do it.
You can't attack him without running the risk of jeopardizing the conference.
Even though Sir Gregory has the edge?
No, Gregory will never forgive you.
Very well, Piaggi, you win.
I refuse to let you do the first thing that comes into your head.
I don't know what the two of you are up to, but I'll find out sooner or later.
Right. Time for me to get back into my body. Right. Don't just stand there, Louis. Mortimer's waiting for you in the red salon.
What can I do for you, sir? I am at your service, day and night, sir.
As I was unable to bring my personal effects with me, I was wondering if you could find me a few items.
Of course, sir. What would you require?
A little Carmelite water would do me a lot of good. Could you find me some, please?
Oh, the tonics are under lock and key, sir. Lord Mortimer only allows access to them in cases of emergency.
What's that book you're hiding in your jacket?
The Sorrows of Young Werther by Goethe, sir, and I am not hiding it.
Hand it to me, please.
It is damaged, sir. I would never dare lend sir a book in such a pitiful state, sir. I took it to restore.
Am I disturbing you?
Monsieur de Richet, it seems you are everywhere. Was Mr. von Wollner able to help you?
Help me?
Yes, for your armillary sphere.
Oh, yes, that.
Louis, everything all right?
Yes, excuse me, I was miles away.
Oh, while you're here, you wouldn't know who the last guest is, would you?
What do you mean?
I heard Sir Gregory speaking about it. A certain Al-Asif something or other.
Who? What?
Obviously not. It's not important, forget it.
No, hang on.
It doesn't matter, I'm telling you. We'll find out soon enough. I'm in a hurry right now. I'm waiting for someone. See you later, Louis.
Well, I must be leaving you.
So, Louis, what was your first time like? Bewildering, isn't it?
Here's your letter. I have to admit, the experience was utterly amazing.
Come, tell me more.
Everything went as planned. I didn't encounter any particular difficulties.
Well done, you. On my first try, well, it took me 3 goes. But you did it. Gregory, what can I do for you?
I've just come to make sure dear Louis has all the information he needs.
Needs for what?
You are free to make your own choices, William. I would like the same for him, too.
There's nothing I want more, Gregory.
Your schemes will lead to your demise, brother. Don't involve Louis. He has nothing to do with all this. The end of the conference approaches, and this masquerade will soon be torn asunder. Don't drag him down with you in your disgrace.
Oh, ye of little faith.
On the contrary, brother, Louis has just entered the family. Give him a chance to find his place.
His place?
What place is that?
At the end of a leash, like all the others.
Don't listen to him. He's angry with our father.
And with good reason. He governs us in the same way he governs humanity. Through fear and submission.
Same old tune. When will you understand that it's necessary to impose order for things to move forward properly?
You are under his thumb and proud of it. Open your eyes, for crying out loud. His whole system has become outdated, and he's too old to see it. He will lead us to our demise.
Here he goes with another of his grand speeches. William has always been fond of staging big scenes. It's his theatrical side.
How dare you? You are blind, brother. Even if the evidence bit you on the nose, you still wouldn't see it. I feel sorry for you.
Tea is drunk hot or not at all, William. When will you learn? It's too bitter. You shouldn't let it brew so long.
I knew you'd be coming along. You are so predictable.
Methodical, I would say. Things must be accomplished in the right order if we want the world to keep turning as it does.
You came here to warn me, sir.
No, to advise you.
Advise me against my father. Why?
I think you are capable of deciding for...
You haven't answered my question. Why warn me against my father? What are you afraid he will do to me?
Well, I wouldn't want him to lead you into... I don't know what absurd adventure in which...
You act as though I were in danger.
I agree with Louis, Gregory. You're trying to pass me off as a villain about to devour him.
That's not funny, William. I won't let him follow you.
You see, Louis, Gregory came here to make you change your mind. It's time for things to change. I acknowledge Father has done many good things for humanity, but his time is over, and now he must pass on the torch.
That's enough. There, Louis. That's the pathetic example your father has to offer. I really am sorry about what happened to you. You don't know our family yet. We can't have given you a very good impression, but bear in mind that we are all against William's project.
On the contrary.
If he insists on going through with it, we will have no other choice than to intervene by force. Consequently, my dear Louis, you're going to have to choose sides. I would much rather have met you in different circumstances.
There you are, Louis. See what happens when you don't follow their orders to the letter.
Louis, I'm afraid the time to decide is now. If you follow William, he will drag you down with him. If, on the other hand, you support me, I can assure you that nothing will happen to you. You won't be blamed for your father's errors.
Ah, the masks are off. I offer you liberty. He obliges you to choose, and shamelessly asks you to betray your own father. That is their true face.
Right. Before I answer, well, I'd better think it over very carefully. Do I intend to embrace my demon nature and take my place on the chessboard? Do I stay out of it and do my utmost to stop them? Or do I renounce my nature and do all I can to stay human? It's useless trying to resist my true nature. I'm a demon. May as well accept it. The sooner the better. Even if I continue to live as a human, all my friends and acquaintances will inevitably end up dying. And I'll be left on my own, forever. I am a demon and I have to behave like one. The sooner, the better.
So? What do you choose, Louis?
I shall follow my father, Sir Gregory.
Very well. But don't say I didn't warn you.
Please, don't take offense, but I just can't turn my back on him.
It's time we finished what we started, brother. The final vote of the conference over the acquisition of Louisiana will take place in a few hours. I propose you gather your troops and prepare to close the debate.
That's precisely what I was going to suggest.
Come, follow me. It's time for us to get ready.
Do you really think we have a chance of winning?
A chance? You don't know me very well, Louis. We are going to win.
But it only takes one person to vote against us, and we'll have lost.
That's true. That's why none of them will. Why? Because I have an asset that they do not.
Which is?
You. My friends, prepare yourselves. The conference is about to resume. The time has come to lay down all our cards.